listening to Secret Service failed to stop Trump assassination attempt, Senate report says. A news story written by Kelly Kasulis-Cho and Vivian Ho and read by an AI-generated voice. The Secret Service failed to prevent the assassination attempt against Donald Trump last year at his Pennsylvania campaign rally, according to a Senate committee report, which accuses the agency of a botched operation snarled by communication fumbles and the repeated denial of extra security assets at a time when the former president faced heightened threats on his life. This was not a single error. It was a cascade of preventable failures, the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee said in its report Sunday, marking a year since the shooting in Butler. The Washington Post obtained a copy of the report ahead of its release. The committee, which is chaired by Senator Rand Paul, Republican Kentucky, conducted 17 interviews with Secret Service staff and reviewed more than 75,000 pages of law enforcement documents during its investigation over the past year to reach its conclusions. What happened was inexcusable, the report said, and the consequences imposed for the failures so far do not reflect the severity of the situation. In a statement Sunday, Secret Service Director Sean Curran said the agency would continue to cooperate with the Senate committee, and that following last year's shooting, the Secret Service took a serious look at our operations and implemented substantive reforms to address the failures that occurred that day. On July 13, 2024, a 20-year-old nursing home worker from Pennsylvania, Thomas Matthew Crooks, scaled a building outside the security perimeter of Trump's campaign rally in Butler and opened fire using an AR-style rifle, killing one person and critically injuring two others. He attempted to assassinate Trump, shooting him near the top of his right ear, and was killed by law enforcement officers at the scene. The report shed no new light about the assailant's motives, which remain a mystery to investigators 1 year on, but painted a picture of an expansive security detail that was erroneously left in the dark as an assassination attempt unfolded. The committee identified several Secret Service failures to properly disseminate information about a suspicious person, later determined to be Crooks, and his whereabouts. Its investigation also uncovered conflicting reports about who knew what and when. The lack of structured communication was likely the greatest contributor to the failures of the USS, the report stated. According to the report, Secret Service failures allowed Crooks to evade detection for nearly 45 minutes. In particular, the report singled out the Secret Service's security room agent, whose job is to manage communications between all parties involved in securing an event to ensure situational awareness. The committee accused the security room agent, who was not named, of failing to properly relay that a local tactical team was looking for a person equipped with a rangefinder outside the security perimeter, despite hearing of it at roughly 5:45 p.m., about 25 minutes before the shooting. A Pennsylvania state police officer who was in the Secret Service security room testified that he told the security room agent in person that there was an active search for a person with a rangefinder outside of the security perimeter. When asked, he said he did not know if the security room agent relayed that information to others over the radio. I got a distinct impression that there's like a lack of urgency, he recalled. The Pennsylvania state police officer said he later updated the security room agent that the suspect was seen on top of a roof, but that he did not know if the agent further disseminated that information. Meanwhile, the security room agent gave a conflicting story, saying he was not aware of a person on a roof, but only heard via radio communications that local police were working a problem at 3 o'clock. No one stopped Trump from walking on stage, where he was shot at about 6:15 p.m. In an interview with investigators, the security room agent acknowledged that he had no other contact with local law enforcement that day, and that he had not seen operations plans put together by the Pennsylvania State Police or the Butler Emergency Services Unit before the rally. The Senate committee called into question why the agent was found to have not violated Secret Service policy, and why he never faced any disciplinary action. He retired this June. Outside of the security room, the report criticized key Secret Service figures for relaying critical information over private phone calls, rather than wider radio transmissions, which it said led to a lack of awareness among counter-snipers and security officials at various posts about the suspicious person, or the gravity of the threat leading up to the shooting. It also alleged that broad confusion over the responsibilities and purview of various security roles led to errors and lapses in pursuing the suspect. The Secret Service has since adopted some changes to its internal policy to address the communication failures, the report said. Before the shooting, security officials were concerned about Trump's safety, uncovering an alleged Iran-linked plot to assassinate him and other U.S. targets. During the first week of July 2024, several top security officials met to discuss intelligence involving Trump's safety and agreed to allow counter-snipers at all of his rallies. This bucked tradition. The Butler rally was the first time a former president and candidate had received counter-snipers from the Secret Service, the report said. The Senate committee accused the Secret Service of failing to inform counter-snipers about the elevated threat environment leading up to the rally, and denounced Secret Service headquarters for a history of denials to requests for additional security assets during Trump's campaign. In particular, the committee contested a statement from former Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle claiming that requests for extra security assets at the Butler rally were not denied. The committee is aware, by the USS's own admission, that this claim is false, the report said. Cheadle resigned in the aftermath of the shooting, saying she took full responsibility for the failure. The report denounced the Secret Service for what it called insufficient accountability for the shooting. 6 Secret Service agents were placed on unpaid leave, with the suspensions ranging from 10 to 42 days, the Post reported this month. Not a single person has been fired, the Senate report said, adding, "The American people deserve better." The report's findings follow a number of other investigations that reached similar conclusions, including an internal review by the Secret Service. After Cheadle's resignation, Secret Service Acting Director Ronald L. Rowe Jr. acknowledged that the Butler attack was a failure of the Secret Service to secure the area or protect Trump. The Secret Service this month said it made several changes since the Butler shooting, including boosting communication with state and local authorities and beefing up intelligence sharing before and during events requiring protection.